welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to go through the developer notes leading up to the full game release. There's a lot of information here. If you don't want to watch the video, that's totally fine. I'll link all of this down below in the video description and you can go and check it out yourself. But I wanted to talk about my thoughts on it too. Hit the like button, comment, all that stuff if you wish to. It's totally up to you. So let's just get straight into it. Also, I usually look at this monitor, but it's not working at the moment, so I'm looking at this monitor, so you see the side of my face instead of the front of my beautiful face. So yeah, let's just jump into it. Let's just do this. So preloading and launch times. Xbox preloading will be live today, which is incredible. PlayStation 48 hours in advance, which is also okay, I guess. It's not the same as Xbox, but it's there, it's available. Steam, they're still determining the preload options, so you just have to wait to see about that. And Epic Game Store preloading is not currently possible. I don't know whether this is actually an Epic Game Store thing where they don't allow preload, because I don't really use Epic Game Store, but I really do hope they kind of change that and hopefully get a chance for people to preload. Rolling midnight unlock for consoles. Consoles will unlock at midnight on April 1st for your specific country. For the USA, this means midnight EDT April 1st. So if you're in the PDT time zone, it's 9 o'clock PM, 2100 hours on March 31st. So technically they get it a little bit earlier in terms of a midnight release, but overall I feel like it's a pretty good setup. And so there's a countdown link here, which I'll link in the video description too if I remember, but if not, just come here and click it yourself and it will tell you when it's going to go live for your specific region, which is extremely helpful. And the PC and Stadia is a little bit later. I'm surprised by this. April 1st, 1700 BST, 5 PM or 9 AM PDT. So you'll get it a lot later than everywhere else, but they do say it's not their fault. It's just how the stores work for PC and Stadia, which is a hell of a shame. So hopefully maybe before then something can be changed and help there, because everyone should be getting this around about the same time, in my opinion. So what's changed between the demo build we're currently playing and launch day of Outriders? So obviously just content, bug fixes, stuff like that. This one, important though, mods on some legendary weapons not triggering properly. I've been reviewing the weapons in the demo as they are in the demo, and I've noticed that there's a lot of the weapons, Migraine, Grim Morrow, they come to mind. Their secondary perks just don't activate, or very rarely do activate. So I'm excited to see how this changes each and individual weapon that we use as legendaries, because I'm excited to see what the Migraine does, because the Migraine, I'm very tired by the way, I've been running around with my puppy all day. The Migraine is very average right now, even though it's one of the best looking guns in the game. I cannot wait to see what it's like with that secondary perk or any other kind of crafting perks you can put onto the gun. Balancing changes for various item mods, enemy stats and loot drops. So it's just balancing, just playing. They're playing the game. They're figuring out if captains have too much health, if this enemy does too much damage, and they're just working on it basically with feedback from the community. Crossplay is no longer in beta, which it was for the demo, and it will be on by default. So you can turn this off manually, but you won't match with anyone who still has it turned on. So if I'm on Xbox and you're on Xbox and I have it turned off and you have it turned on, I can never match you. So you're better off just leaving this on. And because it's crossplay as well, you're probably going to find people a little bit quicker than if you turned it off. I know it's a shame that you can't really just pick and choose who you want to play with or what platform you want to play on, but it's better than nothing, right? Crossplay barely exists in the gaming world right now, so this is incredible. I cannot wait to see how it works and how quick it works, how smooth it is, how efficient it is. DirectX 12 on PC. Been a long time since I did anything on PC. I'm actually saving up for a new one now, so I don't know if DirectX 12 is the latest one. Added a quick mark functionality to your inventory. This will allow you to mass mark all items based on their rarity in 1 or 2 button presses rather than needing to mark items individually, which is still possible if preferred. I definitely prefer the individual presses. It could be a bit frustrating when it doesn't register, but I do like going through and looking at every single item, looking at what's on it, what mods are on it, what bonus attributes are on it. So I prefer that. But I do understand that, mass marking all greens or all whites, very useful. What I want here is a sort by mod. That would make it perfect for me. I know it's got really nothing to do with this, but if I could sort by mod and have all of my duplicate mods in a row. So let's say I got 4 reflect bullets mods, but they've all got different attributes. I can go through and see which one I want to keep and which one I don't want to keep very easily, because they're all right next to each other, instead of having to go through all of the inventory trying to find the ones that match up in terms of duplication mods. So very good thing to add. Improvements to the cover system. I'm very excited for this because sometimes I've found the cover system to be a bit awkward. Like I'll randomly jump over a wall when I'm supposed to be behind it, or like I'll be running normally and my character will kind of latch onto a wall which is like 12 foot away, and it will just run towards it even though I didn't press anything to go there. It just somehow, like, it's like a magnet pulling me in. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Improvement to travel voting system when using a group. I haven't used this, so I don't really know. Added additional information about internal cooldown mechanics for mods to their descriptions. Very, very useful, because some of the mods are quite vague, so you don't really understand how they work, and having this extra stuff on there will be pretty damn cool. As you progress through the main game, you'll also have full access to the crafting system, character levels, all world tiers and more. No more grinding for legendaries, so you don't have to farm like we've been doing at world tier 5. I suppose you can still do that when you're at the top world tier. You just pick a place you want to go and farm it and do it. But they recommend just playing through the story and enjoying the experience first. Legendaries will drop naturally over time as you push your world tier higher. So it's going to be a very intrinsic way to get legendaries, is just to play the game. And because the world tier, as it's higher, has a better drop rate, or a better drop chance I should say, in terms of percentage, and a bigger loot pool of legendaries, you're going to see them as more often than you've been seeing them right now. And then hopefully, you know, when we get to the end game, we can farm, we can do the things that we want to do, get the perfect firepower rolls and bonus attributes and all that kind of stuff. But there's also expeditions. Expeditions is kind of like end game content, which, you know, think about like a Nightfall from Destiny 1, where you do this big long hard thing and then you get rewards that you really want at the end. I'm guessing expeditions are going to have a higher drop rate for legendaries, so very excited to see what happens there. Patches and post-launch support. I'm very excited by this because it's very genuine, very open, very honest, and their intentions are obviously very right in front of you. You can read about it, and that's quite rare in this day and age of games. So basically, there's a patch on day one. You'll have various things, the things that we already kind of know about. You'll have just many fixes and improvements, but you know, you get performance issue stuff fixed. We get camera smoothing, so we don't get the camera shake during cutscenes, and cutscenes you can choose to be any type of frames per second you want, so you know, or you know, be locked on specific consoles. So you know, things that we knew were coming are coming on the day one patch, and it will be available, I think, prior to the game even launching. Like, you can put this patch on before day one, if I read it right, but I'm not going to read it again because I can't be bothered. We have an additional pre-planned patch that is intended to address any recently reported issues. So things that are being put through to the system right now, they're fixing ready for a secondary patch after the game has launched, which is incredible. Also as well, if you guys have any problems, suggestions, anything like that, I have direct contact with the developers, so I can pass those questions along and see if we can get anything done about it. So the intentions for this patch are controller adjustment options such as dead zone adjustment, acceleration settings, and legacy layouts. I'm very, very excited for this, because one of the things that I suggested to them myself was to have a different sensitivity for X and Y axis, because I want to turn left and right faster than I can look up and down, because my control feels wild on controllers. Like, I can't control, well, I mean, not that I can't control it, but it just feels chaotic when I'm looking up a hill and someone's behind like a wall. It becomes very difficult to aim. So I'm very, very excited for this, especially dead zone adjustment. Loading time improvements for previous gen consoles, which is great, you know, seeing that they actually are prepared to support old consoles or older consoles is incredible. More improvements for co-op. Cross-play friends list will be available, and an invite system across the Square Enix members accounts, and just other things that are being fixed, like bugs and stuff. This is a really, really good kind of pipeline of what they're doing. Like, this is going to happen now. This is going to happen day one. Very, very happy by this. Very, very impressed by the company too. Item restoration for legendary is very important as well, and this is actually pretty good. In a one-off event for the global player population, the restoration will take place on March 25th, which is today. It's probably already happened, and will restore any legendaries lost before March 22nd. So if you've lost any in the past couple of days, unfortunately you can't get those back. But this is incredible because they didn't have to do this at all. You know, they could have very easily just let people play the main game and pick up new legendaries. This is an incredible decision by them, and it just shows that they care about the community, that they care about the game, and they want it to do well. Only legendary weapons that were lost can be restored. This kind of confuses me a little bit because there are only legendary weapons. So I don't know whether this means like blue armors and stuff as well. But regardless, you're getting your legendary weapons back, or the ones that they determine are okay to bring back depending on the date. So the reason why this happened was they believe is that it's the auto saving system for the game. So, you know, people are picking up legendaries and, you know, getting killed, backing out the game, reloading it without actually having autosave active, or they don't autosave for a very long time, and then it's lost in that kind of like void, as to say, because I haven't actually lost a single legendary, and I wait specifically for the autosave to happen. Like I check to make sure it's happened before I back out or before I do any of that. So there is some kind of legitimacy here to that being the case. So I'm very excited to see what they do. And that's about it really. You're going to get your legendaries back. That's it. Cheating and hacking, very important topic to have. One thing that if it had massive PvP, I would understand the need to control cheating and hacking. But it's a PvE game, and if people want to ruin their experience by cheating and hacking, it doesn't really affect anyone else. But I do understand why developers want to keep it down. They don't want that associated with their game. But it's just one of those questions, one of those age-old questions, is whether cheating or hacking matters in a PvE game, essentially a PvE game. I know there's co-op and stuff, things like that, but you know, it's just one of those questions. However, pretty good rate of cheating in this game, 0.01%. Out of 2 million players, they identified 200 players, which means their system isn't that easy to crack overall. Like, they're doing just incredible things to keep cheating in place, and if that's what they want to do, they're doing it really well, and they're being honest about it as well. They're showing stats and all that kind of stuff. There was even one person who gave themselves 600 legendary weapons, which for me, I don't even know how he did that, because the stash would have been full, all the characters would have been full. So how did he get 600 legendaries onto a character or a bunch of characters? So they're not expecting the percentage to grow much, because they're obviously putting things in place to prevent cheating. And one of those things is basically branding an account to not be able to matchmake with other people, other legit players, which means their matchmaking times might be longer. You know, they might not get to play with other people. They can still play solo. So in that sense, if they have cheated or hacked, they can still play the PvE on their own. So, you know, it's kind of what I was talking about before. But regardless anyway, repercussions are account wide, not character specific. So if you cheated on one character, you're done across all of them. You'll not be able to matchmake with legit players. Matchmaking will be significantly longer. You'll be able to play solo. Your HUD will have a discrete but visible watermark placed on it, so that gameplay footage created on this account can be readily identified as coming from a flagged account. So if I was to cheat and I got that mark on my screen and then I started uploading videos about the game, it will be noticeable on there that I had been cheating. It's going to be basically a literal brand on your game. I don't think I've cheated. I hope I haven't cheated. So all accounts will be checked on launch day. Any accounts found will be branded straight away. If you want to actually go into the game unbranded, you have to delete all your characters, all your items on the account. You have to have a complete clean slate before the game is released. So if you have cheated and you want to be able to play the game normally, make sure you go on and delete everything before April 1st so that you can play the game properly. So what is considered cheating? Intentionally running the game on PC without easy anti-cheat. Now I'm assuming easy anti-cheat is like the anti-cheat that comes with the game, and people are removing that to be able to add third-party things in, to hack, to cheat, to improve legendaries, to give themselves stuff. They will be branded. Modifying game files, again, character level, skills, inventory, will be branded. Externally modifying game time to reduce time-dependent features such as vendors and challenges. So if you changed your clock forward by an hour to refresh the vendor to try and get an epic, I made a video about this before, and I think at the very start of my video I said, you know, you could possibly be exploiting if you change the game time. But I was also talking about that every hour it would update anyway. So if you've done that, you could be branded too. You probably will be branded. But I feel like there's a debate here, an argument here, where it's like, it's not as big of a deal as everything else. Just maybe delete the epics from that, you know, from their account. But, you know, that's what they want to do. I'm not going to argue with them. If they want to brand people for that, that's totally their decision. They are the developers. But me, on a personal level, I feel like that could be a debatable point. But training programs or similar advantage gaining programs and, you know, aimbots, wall hacks definitely should be branded, as well as the other points in this list. Very good to see, though, that they're actually putting this out there, saying, this is what we're going to do about cheaters. We're going to make sure it happens. And they're being just, you know, obvious about it, and not trying to like be subtle about it so that people don't realize, and they're giving people a chance to start afresh. So that is incredible. Like, again, they care about the game, they care about the community, they want to make sure they're running the game in the way that they want to run it. And, you know, that's incredible. You can't ask for more than that, really. If you have the Hell's Rangers content, it will become available via your stash on a specific tab. So you don't have to worry if your stash is full. It will be separate to the actual stash, but it will be inside the stash, if that makes sense. And the gear is level locked until level 10. So you need to meet its requirements before you're able to use it. So there we go. Those are the updates. Those are the things that we are seeing change with the game 1 week out from launch. Incredible discretion by them, you know, being open, honest, and genuine, and just laying it out of like, this is the game we have in mind. This is what we're going to do to get there. Very impressed. Cannot wait to see what they do, continually supporting the game after launch. You know, a year from now, 2 years from now, who knows where this game could be. It could be the next big thing. I'm really hoping it is, because I do love the game. So yeah, that is the dev notes. If you want to read them yourself, they're down below in the video description. That's it. Thank you for watching. I've been Easy Now. You guys have been awesome.